Hey everyone, welcome back to another jaw-dropping episode of Husband Found Out a Terrible Plan of Wife, cheating stories that will shock you. Today we're diving into the deep end of the pool with some truly unbelievable tales. Our theme for today? Cheating wives. Now, these stories are anything but ordinary, so buckle up and get ready to be amazed, horrified, and maybe even a little bit empathetic. Let's get into it. Segment 1, The Double Life. Our first story is all about living a double life. Picture this: James thought he had the perfect marriage. His wife, Sarah, was the epitome of a loving partner. Or so he thought. Everything seemed great until one day, James stumbled upon an old phone in their attic. Curiosity got the best of him, and he powered it up. That's when he discovered Sarah's other life. I found photos, messages, and even videos of Sarah with another man. They looked like a happy couple, doing everything we used to do together. I felt like I was living someone else's nightmare. Imagine finding out the love of your life has a whole other relationship complete with vacations, dinners, and intimate moments. James confronted Sarah, and the fallout was explosive. But here's the twist: Sarah admitted to everything but claimed she loved both men equally. She wanted to keep both relationships going. I couldn't believe it. She genuinely thought she could juggle two lives without either of us noticing. It shattered me, but also made me realize how blinded I was by love. The double life is a haunting scenario. It makes you question what else might be lurking in the shadows of what you think is a solid relationship. Crazy, right? But hold on, because the next story's going to blow your mind even further. After Sarah's confession, James was left in turmoil. Determined to catch every lie and secret Sarah had been hiding, he began to investigate further. He discovered hidden bank accounts and an alternate social media profile where Sarah was living out her other life in full view, just not his. Friends he had never heard of, parties she had gone to without him, were all unveiled bit by bit. Meanwhile, Sarah believed she could bring James around to her way of thinking. She tried to convince him they could work it out, even suggesting that her other lover could become a part of their lives. But when James reached out to Sarah's other man, he learned that he too was in the dark about Sarah's dual existence. In a tense meeting, the two men pieced together the timeline of Sarah's deception. The other man, Mark, felt equally betrayed, having thought Sarah was solely his. The situation grew even more complex as they both realized Sarah had become financially dependent on both of them, using money from each to maintain her extravagant lifestyle. Just when you think it couldn't get any messier, it does. Mark revealed that Sarah had spoken about relocating to a different country with him, away from James. This was news to James, who had always thought they were building a future together in their current home. James and Mark, now accidental allies, decided that Sarah's deceit had to end. They confronted her together, and her web of lies began to unravel in front of them. Faced with the reality of losing both men at once, Sarah broke down, admitting that her double life had spiraled out of control. In the end, Sarah lost everything, as neither man could trust her again. James had to rebuild his life from the ground up, haunted by the question of how he had been so thoroughly deceived. What else might be lurking in the shadows of a seemingly solid relationship? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this story. If you enjoyed the video, press 1. If not, press 0. Your feedback is my fuel to gather more inspiring and meaningful stories. Thank you. Crazy, right? But hold on, because the next story's going to blow your mind even further. Segment 2, The Affair Next Door. Okay, folks, ready for round 2? This next tale is straight out of a soap opera. Meet Sam. He started noticing something odd with his wife, Emily. Every Thursday, she'd make an elaborate excuse to visit their neighbor's house. Innocent enough, right? Except, these visits started getting longer and longer. I always thought she was just being friendly, you know? Helping out a neighbor with some chores or just hanging out. Until one Thursday, I decided to follow her. What I saw blew my mind. Sam watched as Emily and the neighbor, Tom, cozied up in his living room, sharing a bottle of wine. And then, let's just say things escalated quickly. Sam was in shock but decided to gather more evidence before confronting Emily. I recorded everything from that evening. When I finally played it back to Emily, she couldn't deny it. The look on her face was a mix of guilt and shock, like she never expected to get caught. So, was Emily a one-time cheater, or had this been going on for ages? Turns out, it was a year-long affair. The drama that unfolded after this revelation? Let's just say it involved quite a few heated arguments in the neighborhood. Sam decided to move out and start fresh, but the scars remain. However, that wasn't the end of the story. A month after moving out, Sam received an anonymous tip. Someone had seen Tom with another woman, none other than Emily's best friend, Laura. Intriguing, right? Sam decided to pay more attention and dug deeper into Tom's life. It turned out Tom had a pattern of wooing women in the neighborhood. He had perfected his charm routine, and it almost seemed like a game to him. The plot thickened when Sam found out that several other women had fallen prey to Tom's advances. Fueled by this newfound discovery, Sam reached out to these women and shared his own story. They formed a secret alliance and decided to confront Tom together. Their goal was to expose him for who he truly was and put an end to his manipulative ways. The confrontation was explosive. Tom tried to deny everything, but with multiple women and solid evidence, his web of lies quickly unraveled. The neighborhood was in shock as the truth came out. Tom's wife, who had no idea about his secret life, was devastated and decided to leave him. As for Emily, the confrontation made her realize the depth of her betrayal and the impact it had on others. She sought therapy and began the challenging road to redeeming herself, but it was a journey she had to make alone. Sam, on the other hand, moved to a new city, found a new job, and started rebuilding his life. The experience left him wiser and more cautious, but also more appreciative of genuine relationships. In the end, the neighborhood never quite returned to its former self. The betrayals and deceit had left a permanent mark, but it also brought about a sense of unity among those who had suffered. They learned to rely on one another and built stronger, more honest connections. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this story. If you enjoyed the video, press 1. If not, press 0. Your feedback is my fuel to gather more inspiring and meaningful stories. Thank you. And that, folks, is how close betrayal can hit when it's right next door. Speaking of crazy, let's move on to our third and final story for today. And trust me, you won't see this one coming. Segment 3, The Accidental Spy. Our final story is one of those rare instances where technology does the detective work for you. Imagine this: Laura installed a home security system with cameras throughout her house for safety reasons. But these cameras ended up capturing more than just potential intruders. I was checking the security footage one day when I noticed something odd. My husband was away on a business trip, and yet, there was activity in our bedroom. I saw Ashley, my best friend, walking in and out of the room multiple times. Laura's heart sank as the footage clearly showed her best friend and husband in compromising positions. The ultimate betrayal, captured on camera due to a home security system. I felt like my world was crumbling. These were the two people I trusted the most, and they both stabbed me in the back. The evidence was undeniable. There was no way either of them could talk their way out of it. Laura confronted her husband and best friend with the damning footage. The fallout? Ashley tried to play the victim card, while Laura's husband simply begged for forgiveness. Laura had none of it and filed for divorce, severing ties with both betrayers. It's incredible how technology, something we install for security, can end up unveiling such deep secrets. Crazy, isn't it? Now, before we wrap up, remember, cheating stories are never black and white. There's always a myriad of emotions and motivations behind each tale. That's what makes these stories so compelling and heart-wrenching. But Laura's story didn't end there. As she navigated the painful process of divorce, she discovered new layers of betrayal. Financial records revealed that her husband had been siphoning money into a hidden account, likely to fund his secret affair. Further investigation uncovered a network of lies that spanned years, painting a picture of meticulous deception. Fueled by a mix of rage and determination, Laura decided to take control of her narrative. She hired a private investigator to delve deeper into her husband's activities. The PI uncovered that Ashley and Laura's husband had been plotting to take over Laura's business, hoping to leave her with nothing. With this newfound knowledge, Laura built a solid case not only for her divorce but for criminal charges. Her husband and Ashley were arrested for fraud and theft, their treachery broadcasted for all to see. Laura's courage to face the truth, fortified by technology, ultimately led her to reclaim her life and assets. Laura's journey from betrayal to empowerment is a stark reminder of the unexpected ways technology can intervene in our lives, catching the shadows where we least expect them. The story of an accidental spy, a woman scorned, and justice served, truly, a tale where the digital eye saw it all. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this story. If you enjoyed the video, press 1. If not, press 0. Your feedback is my fuel to gather more inspiring and meaningful stories. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today on Husband Found Out a Terrible Plan of Wife, cheating stories that will shock you. These stories are a reminder that reality can sometimes be stranger than fiction. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll dive into the world of secret online affairs. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. Until next time, keep your eyes and ears open because you never know what secrets might be hiding in plain sight.